G'day guys, how are we all? So I'm out here in the wilderness today and I'm aiming to demonstrate how to extract water from trees. Now essentially there's a few ways this can be done and a few different tree species that are capable of doing this. So what the tree we're actually going to focus on today is the she oak, mainly because there's a ton of them out here. And you can do this with other trees such as bloodwood and a few others. I'll put names of them down below. So there's a few ways to do this as well with the she oak tree. Now depending where you are, if you're in a coastal area where there's a lot of water, an abundance of water, or if you're in a dry arid area, there's different ways to extract water from these trees. Now if you were in a dry arid area, I would suggest you extract water from a sapling tree. Now you want a sapling that's about 10 to 15 centimeters in diameter, and you'll get a good half a litre out of this tree if you pick one that's about 5 meters tall. And what you're looking for is a sapling that has a big crown on it that's, you know, very healthy and very green. That's the sort of tree that, or sapling of a she oak, that you'll get the best water sources out of. Today we're not going to cut down a sapling because I try to avoid it unless it's an absolute survival situation where we're actually going to extract the water from the tree root of the she oak tree. So I'm going to have a walk around, see if we can find a suitable root. So we're looking for a root, again, probably about 8 to 10 centimeters in diameter. We want it to be close to the surface of the ground so we don't have to dig and dig and dig to get to these roots, and we're going to cut out about 1 meter length. So I'm going to have a walk around now and I'm going to see if I can find a suitable tree with a suitable root, and we'll show you how this is done. G'day guys, so I've been walking through the bush here and I've found a suitable she oak root to extract water from. Firstly, I just wanted to show you how to identify a she oak. So they have these needle type leaves on them, very distinctive, very easy to see. Another characteristic of this plant is these little cones that grow on them. So very distinctive, very easy to see. Now they grow huge, these trees, or they can, you know, all sizes, but they grow pretty tall, upwards of, you know, 30-40 feet. So actually right here in front of me is a sapling, and the diameter of this she oak would be perfect to extract water from. You know, in a survival situation, you needed water, you would cut this tree down and you would do exactly the same method I'm about to show you for the root. I've chosen to do the root method because it won't kill the tree. Also, another characteristic is the bark type. So you can look at the bark patterns on this tree to determine what sort of tree it is as a she oak. Now this sapling right here, the height of it, everything, the diameter, perfect for extracting water. So, alright guys, so I'll take you over to the tree root that we've found here. Now to identify a she oak tree root, those needles, these needles here that you see growing on the tree, they commonly grow out of the tree root as well. You see them popping out of the root. Another way to identify the root, to make sure, because there's all other different species of tree around here, is the bark texture, which is very similar to the bark texture on the actual she oak itself. Now you don't necessarily need anything to do this. You could dig that out with a stick and break it off, but to make it a little bit easier on yourself, a few tools do come in handy. So today I've got my knife with me to cut the root either end. I've got this crowbar here to dig it out and make it easier, and I've got this stick here just to hit the back of my knife and make it a lot easier to cut through the root. So I'm going to get started at pulling this root out of the ground now, and we'll go over and I'll show you guys how to extract about half a litre of water from it. Alright guys, so here's the root here, and we're going to start with just clearing the dirt around it. Like I mentioned, you can use a stick to do this, but you can see it's quite difficult even with the crowbar. we want to take out about 1 meter length of this, minimal. Alright guys, so the root snapped off a little bit shorter than what I would have liked, but that's what we've got to work with. It should have been about 1 meter long, would have been perfect, but this is fine. So all of these extremities on the root, they're fine, don't need to worry about them. Just this end here, clean it off a little bit. This is going to be the end that where the water is going to flow out of. So we don't want to contaminate our water pot with dirt and other things. Yep, so we've just cleaned that off a little bit. All right. Also, what you can do, if you don't have the time to wait for the water to drain out, you can skin all the bark and some of the timber off these roots and squeeze the water out of them. It's a bit more work, but it is possible. So we'll go over here now. Over here, it's another thing that I'm just about to mention. You need something to drain the water into. So I've found this common coconut tree leaf, and that's going to do me just fine. It's a nice clean area and it will hold the water. So essentially all you do is just sit the root in it, facing down, and leave it and let gravity go ahead and do its work. So I'm just letting that up against a tree. I'm using a couple stabilizer sticks either side just so the water doesn't run out, and I've kept it pretty level, and we'll just leave that there. Probably about 4 hours we should get a couple mouthfuls of water. Alright guys, we'll leave that there and we'll come back and see how we go. Alright guys, so I'm on my way back to the she oak root to see how much water that we have collected. Alright, not too bad. Yeah, so it's not exactly a couple mouthfuls, but it's enough water to wet the whistle. And we've only been gone about 2-3 hours, and that's what we've collected. So you could imagine with a proper size root of 1 meter long and 24 hours what you could do. This could save your life, guys. Now what we would have done generally is after the water stops running from that meter long root, you would cut that root in half and then drain both sides of that root into your pot, canister, doesn't matter what you put it in, whatever it is that collects water, to get more water out of it. So you're draining out as much as possible to save your life and get yourself hydrated. Righto, the moment of truth. Nice little puddle of water in there. Let me just create myself a little funnel here and good stuff. Alright guys, so that's just one method of collecting water when necessary to keep yourself alive. There's plenty other methods, there's plenty other ways to do it, there's plenty other different trees that you can do that exact method with. I'll put a list of them at the end of this video. All around the world there's places to find water. Now stay tuned to this video series and we'll be doing a ton more of these on different methods. Take it easy.